So I just watched The Batman, and it was good. It was nice seeing a superhero movie that wasn't chained to any previous established universe and could just be its own thing, especially a character like Batman. With all these reboots and remakes and reimaginings, it was nice to see a basic storyline with this character and having him deal with the troubles of Gotham. It reminded me of the days of yore when new superhero movies didn't automatically come equipped with references to other movies that came out recently. You don't need a scene where Falcon shows up or the characters mention the Avengers existing. And in DC's case, you don't need to stuff all these comic book references and false promises to cover up the fact that you hired the guy who decided to kill off Superman in the second movie of your sprawling cinematic universe. It felt nice to just watch a Batman movie where Batman simply solves a mystery. There was no grand end-of-the-world plot or multi-dimensional bullshit. It was about a superhero saving a city because he's a hero and he feels he can make a difference. It was nice to watch this kind of movie again, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. With that said, I can't exactly call it a masterpiece. While it's definitely good, to call it one of the greatest superhero movies in some time would be kind of an overreaction. Like, yeah, it's good, but this feels like No Way Home all over again, where people are praising the hell out of it and calling it the peak of superhero cinema. And like, come on guys, it's not like the greatest thing ever. I'd probably consider this the Paddington 2 of Batman movies. The kind of movie that is good, but most people would have you believe is actually the second coming of Christ. And to be honest, it's kinda hard to get behind that claim when it doesn't exactly do anything that new or original. Yes, it's a Batman movie that finally has him solving a case like a detective, but that mystery element isn't that engaging if I'm being honest. The ultimate twist of the movie is that Gotham is a corrupt shithole and the Riddler is trying to fix that in the most extreme way possible. Okay, I'm not kidding when I say that is literally the exact same plot as every other Batman movie ever. All three Dark Knight movies deal with villains trying to destroy Gotham for how much of a shitty wasteland it is. Both Burton movies essentially deal with the villains trying to overtake Gotham and affect it for the worst. Even Batman and Robin, not only one of the most hated Batman movies, but one of the most hated superhero movies in general, has one of the villains hell-bent on destroying Gotham because of what a shitty bunch of people they are. So to see people praise this movie's originality was kind of head-scratching. Was anyone really shocked to find out the former mayor and all the other high-ranking officials were corrupt and in cahoots with Falcone? Like, I feel we can all see that politicians and people in power are scumbags in real life. It doesn't seem that far-fetched that they would also be assholes in a city as depraved as Gotham. Also, wasn't the point of Bruce becoming Batman because the city was so corrupt that he felt it was in the best interest to do something about it himself? Yes, it's mostly because he doesn't want anyone else to go through the same pain that he did by losing his parents, but I feel that at some point he should know that Gotham is fucked from all sides when he decided to put on a bat suit and not fix the system from the inside. I guess it's supposed to be shocking to us as an audience that the murder victims just so happen to be pulling strings behind the scenes, but again, if you've seen one Batman movie in your life, I don't think it's that hard to understand that these powerful assholes are indeed powerful assholes. And look, it's not like it's a bad mystery, so to say. It is engaging seeing Batman try and solve the Riddler's riddles and figure out what he's ultimately getting at. I'm just saying that the ultimate twist of Gotham being shitty and needing to be destroyed isn't exactly mind-blowing when we've seen it before. I was kinda hoping this movie would pull a Knives Out where it subverts mystery tropes to keep the audience on their toes while still crafting a genuine mystery. I guess the one curveball this movie adds is by making Thomas Wayne part of the conspiracy. At first, it's kinda cool. Bruce learns that his father wasn't some saint who wanted to fix Gotham, he was just as corrupt as the other players. Falcone says that Thomas wanted a journalist who was writing an article that would have ruined his political career dead, and so Falcone was hired to carry out the hit. In which case, sure, that's kind of a neat twist. Bruce's parents being part of Gotham's corruption could lead to some great inner turmoil in his morals as Batman. But then the movie backtracks significantly on that because then Alfred tells Bruce, "No, your father was a good man. He didn't care about his image or his campaign. He just wanted you and your mother to be safe, Master Bruce." So what exactly was the point of including this subplot then if it's revealed to be bullshit? It wasn't exactly a red herring as it's revealed and then debunked after like 10 minutes. As I said, yeah, it's cool that Batman is solving a mystery, but that can only be interesting enough if the mystery itself is interesting. And again, Gotham being revealed to be a massively shitty place isn't very surprising. It's certainly not a mostly 5 stars deserving twist. Now, before you all think I hate this movie, let me be clear and say that I actually really did enjoy it. All of the acting was stellar. Pattinson as Batman was great. He really nailed Batman as a mysterious figure. Every time he was at a crime scene or fighting criminals, he always had this presence to him. He got the Batman mannerisms down, and I thoroughly enjoyed every time he was on screen. Catwoman wasn't as cringe as I was expecting. I was expecting her to be another badly written, tough female character written by some dude writers who clearly don't know how to write women. And while I can't say she was anything I've never seen before, I did like Zoe Kravitz's take on the character. Still prefer Michelle Pfeiffer though. Paul Dano as the Riddler was quite loopy, though I can't say he ever topped other crazy Batman villain performances, but he worked for this movie fine. Jeffrey Wright as Gordon was awesome, Colin Farrell was fantastic as the Penguin, and I really wish we got more of him, but then the movie couldn't help itself and revealed the Joker at the end, and he's played by the guy who could mind control people in Eternals. Yep, we have a third movie Joker. Thanks DC for giving us a completely fresh take on Batman, by including one of the most overused Batman antagonists as a sequel hook. Well, I guess I can backtrack on the whole not part of a cinematic universe claim, because I guess Warner Brothers really wants to make this into a franchise. Oh wait, I was supposed to be talking about the good stuff in this movie. Well, the cinematography was excellent. I loved how gothic the city looked. It was dark and grimy, while also having bright oranges and reds. It was like a mixture of the Burton Gotham and the Nolan Gotham. It was both grounded and a little noirish, but was still able to stand out on its own. And the music complemented the visuals perfectly. Michael Giacchino really knocks it out of the park with this one. I loved how it had its own theme and wasn't trying to rip off the Hans Zimmer Dark Knight score. It really embraced the gothic nature of Gotham by including organs to give it that grand and spooky feeling. If and when I ever get this movie on Blu-ray, I am so watching it around Halloween. It's a movie that was made for that season with all the spooky organs and the color orange. So do I hate this movie? Not even a little bit. I think calling it bad would be just as reactionary as calling it a flawless masterpiece. I just think people are very quick to calling something the greatest thing ever when it's really not. And yeah, I get it, I'm just as guilty of this as you all are. There are plenty of movies I've jumped the gun on and claimed to be good or the cinematic equivalent of Jesus. I once thought BVS was a fine motion picture. I used to think the MCU was tight and masterful storytelling. I genuinely worshipped The Force Awakens. Months before it even came out. So I understand why people adore this. Hell, it's entirely possible this will grow on me, and maybe I'll learn to appreciate it more as time goes on. But as for now, I just think it's a good movie. Nothing amazing or groundbreaking, but nothing offensive or terrible either. And after some of the terrible movies I've seen so far this year, it was nice seeing a genuinely good movie for a change. Chances are there's no point in me recommending for you to check it out since you'll all see it anyway. So I'll end this by recommending either The Dark Knight or Mask of the Phantasm as other great Batman movies. They both hold up exceptionally well, and they are, in my opinion, the 2 best Batman movies ever made. Just don't watch The Killing Joke. I'm not kidding when I say that Batman and Robin was a better Batman movie than that was. Yes, Bat Credit Card Movie was a better Batman story than the film adaptation of one of the most influential comic books of all time. Still makes more sense than the Penguin turning his head to the left to see behind him when he could have easily just looked in the rearview mirrors when he's being chased by Batman. Seriously, this one shot still bothers me a lot. Like, what sense does that make? Just look in the goddamn mirror, you fucking idiot!